Have you ever thought about just investing passively in multifamily real estate? And most of us don't do it because we are not aware, or we think that it's too complicated, or whatever might be our reason. We wonder about these things, and so today we are going to talk about how you can passively invest, and yes, passively invest in multifamily real estate. And if you are eligible, you can join our elite group of investors. You can buy your time and freedom by investing in private markets in institutional class assets. So it's very important that we understand this and go from there. And a little bit about me. I'm a physician, I'm an anesthesiologist, and I have been in passively and actively investing in multifamily real estate for over 6 7 years now, and got have been doing real estate for over 15 to 20 years. And in reality, we grew up investing in real estate, and that's how we paid for most of our expenses. So I know it can come as a surprise because today we only hear about the stock market and so on and so forth, but there are so many other assets which are available in which we can invest, which have a very low volatility and can really create significant wealth without that up and down which we see in the real estate market, which we see in the stock market, and keep our basis consistently growing and create a generational wealth for our future and for our families. So looking at that, we'll talk about passive income and generational wealth for busy professionals. So what's the challenge now? So I'm a physician, and most of the challenges right now are very common. The days are getting longer, and the quality initiatives and all the reporting and all the charting, all the EMR, and decreasing reimbursements, so on and so forth, like you name it. And there are significant challenges happening in the medical field. And similarly, these challenges are not common just for the medical field, but in every field there's inflation, and there's a significant growth in the cost of doing business, and the reimbursements are going down. And we are seeing the impact of that in general on every possible profession which we can come across. I'm very close to healthcare because that's what I know. And I can tell you that I see so many physicians turning into real estate investors just primarily because they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's important that we take these challenges. The one common thing which we all have is that we are persistent. We can consistently do the hard work, but at the same time, we have to do the smart work. So how a lot of our stories are similar. We thought that we are going to go to medical school or any other professional school, and after that, our life is going to be great. But in reality, it seems like the game has changed, and the game keeps changing every day. So there are more and more players in the game. Corporations change, hospitals change. There's a buyout, the groups change, you name it. The change is happening at every level. And so the whole old model of what we thought that once we have done with this, it's going to change our life and take us into a different place and make our life better, and we would be able to provide and have a consistent life, is no longer there. And I see so many physicians in their 70s and late 70s and still working. And not only that, even if they have done a great work throughout their life, then at the end of like 65 or 70-year-old, they end up into some other kind of health issues or other issues, so they cannot enjoy the life. So a lot of the things in some of these stories may relate to you, or most of us who are practicing are constantly concerned about what's going to happen to the contract, how it's going to impact what we do on our daily life, and how it's going to impact my income and my ability to provide for my family and take care of my expenses. So we all have that story, or we can simply have a desire to help our charitable organization go ahead and help our parents, help our kids, so on and so forth, and help our family to live a life which they really desire. But we are not able to do it because something or else comes in and we fall short of these goals. So when we look at it, what does really financial freedom mean to you? So in my mind, it's mostly about at a very basic level, it's achieving that financial equilibrium where your monthly cash flow and is equal to or greater than your monthly expenses. And I would like it to be greater than your monthly expenses. And I say it in particular passive cash flow because I know that you all are busy and you all get up in the morning and you come in the end of the day and there are still 10 more things to do and still things to take care of and still things to be done. And all you want is basically, to get ahead in the game, but somehow you're still kind of spinning that wheel. It's like the greyhound chasing that artificial rabbit, which he never gets to in the greyhound race. So that's what it feels like most of the time. And it's kind of like, especially in the middle of COVID, there has been more and more burnout in general amongst people. So really, do you have a strategy to get you to a place where your passive income increases your expenses and may not be in 1 day, 2 day, or 1 year or 2 year, maybe like 5 years or 10 years or even 15 years down the road. So you can start that into action right when you start with your job or with your career and allow that to work that out for you. So what I do here, we're going to talk in particular one strategy, which is kind of like the basic need of the society, which is apartments. Everybody who comes in here and started their career, they know how important the apartments are. They're a cash flow business. You can invest the surplus of the cash flowing assets, into basically, you can invest your money into cash flowing assets like multifamily real estate, and you can use the leverage of the high financing and repeat this cycle multiple times. And yes, you can do it passively by joining these investor groups, which will do all this for you, and you become the capital partner, and they still provide a larger share of the profits directly to you. Some of them will share anywhere between 60 to 80% of the profit directly coming to you as a limited partner. And you can repeat this cycle throughout their life, having your money work, getting income in high teens very easily. So how it works is, a sponsor or a syndicator finds a deal and buys the deal. You invest passively along with him. Sponsor team takes care of the operations and increases the profitability, and you end up sharing those gains from that. Not only that, you also share in the tax benefits like cost seg and depreciation, so on and so forth. So it looks in a very simple model, but it's really a great model to understand and know that you can use this to further your financial and wealth generation situation. Now, did somebody say taxes? Yes, the taxes are one of the big part, and just investing in real estate is very much so creates ton of tax breaks, including depreciation and cost segregation. So, what are the risks? So can you lose your capital? Just so you know that most of these loans are non-recourse loans, and the sponsor and syndicator is signing on the loan. So your personal assets are not at risk when you are investing in multifamily as part of the investor group. The other risk could be, I think one of the biggest risks is not taking action, because a day is going to come when you're going to wake up and not want to work like you work right now. But you will have to, because your income dependent on you being an active worker instead of having passive income that pays as you sit back and collect those checks. So it's one of those things that it's up to you whether you are willing to take an action or not, and what time you're willing to take an action. And when you look at it further, most of the people will say, hey, I don't know how to do this. I have a lack of experience. And that's when you team up and leverage the team and other people's knowledge base and their platform to get you to the next level. And we do that all the time for our investor. Other risks are lack of liquidity. Hey, I don't have enough money. Hey, this money is going to be tied up for 3 to 7 year old, but for hold. But in general, if you look at it, uh, most of the money we are not using it every day. It's tied. We invest in the stocks or anywhere else. It's just there. So when you look at it from these perspectives, the risks compared to investing in some other assets are much higher. So let's talk about how do we mitigate the risk, because that's more important. So we mitigate the risk by working as a team, and we have been involved over, last year itself, over $100 million deals in commercial real estate. We constantly study the markets, and we know, what it takes to make a deal a good deal when we see it. And we are investing our own money into these deals. We are not just going to you and saying, hey, you invest your money. And we are important part of these operations. And there's a significant amount of work which goes into the due diligence of figuring out the market, figuring out what's happening to the job market, what's happening with crime, what's happening with rent growth, what's happening with the job growth and population growth in that particular area before we go in and sign up to purchase a property. What if something goes wrong? Yes, there will always something will go wrong, but the part is having a team which is capable and which has an ability to kind of ride through it. That's the main part. So we mitigate this by creating a good plan, and we aren't left there without a paddle in the middle of all the problems. And the other question comes to mind is, why isn't everyone investing this way? There are a ton of people who invest like this, and there's so much money that is flowing into multifamily real estate, largely from bigger investors, but also from common investors. So imagine doing a deal in the wrong market or the wrong person or wrong team. So you just have to figure out, where am I going to invest? What markets are growing? And all that knowledge is available as you talk and discuss the details with us. So here is an example. This is a real life example. We just closed on this offering. This is like 273 unit property. Four properties were in there, and this is what was the summary. The summary was we were 273 units. We were going to buy it for $33.85 million, and we were going to spend $2.32 million for making it better. We got a non-recourse loan, and you see this one was LPGP split was 80-20, means 80% of the profits will go to the investors and 20% will come to the sponsors. And you could have gotten into this offering as low as $75,000. Total passive return was 91%, with average cash on cash, means this is the money which you get each year as an average, was 9%, and the total return projected was 17 to 18%. So if you are a mathematician or you like to look at the math of things, you can see if you can earn on your potentially earn on all your investments anything above 15%, and you can compound that over a period of time in a tax efficient way. See what happens in 10 years or 15 years. See if you could just put in, if you are a high net worth individual, if you could put in like $1 or $2 million slowly into these multiple offerings, and you would have such a better risk profile and than just investing in the stock market. So, or buying crypto or so on and so forth. So this is like one of those potential 100K investment. This is, you get year 1, year 2, year 3, year 5, when we sell the property, you total return is close to 190K. So that's basically having a 90% return on your projected 100K investment. Acquisition timeline this is the timeline. Usually deals close within like a couple of weeks, so there's usually not much time. You can see within 3 months this deal got under contract and due diligence was done, funding was obtained, and it closed. So act quickly, that's more important. This is like vendor partners. There are multiple different partners which we kind of associate with this. In this particular deal, this is what we went with. This is the core team from Blue Ocean Capital, me and my spouse. We have other team members, and they're great team members as we bring them in on our different offerings. So what I would ask you is basically to come ahead and join us and get involved and learn more. You can just visit our website, join our investor group, and of main important part is that you click below button to set up an appointment, because on this appointment you'll be able to learn a lot more, and also will be able to learn what your goals are and see if we are a good match for each other, and we can help each other, help you grow and achieve your goals in the right direction. So do go ahead and click to set up a call and join our investor group. And we look forward to talking to you and taking you along with us on this journey of financial freedom and passive income.